Thought it was time to take another stab at We Know It When We See It, which is the introduction to learning links for both internal and external stakeholders. Wanting to make sure that we're incorporating the newest version of the metaphor and different things like that around what learning links really is and what the central core sticky idea is within it and why we should be using it. So the name of this presentation is We Know It When We See It, or What Does Learning Look Like? And it's based upon the premise that we have seen face-to-face learning. We know what it's all about. We have sat in these chairs before and learned something around a table, having discussions. We intuitively know what it looks like when we're there. Right? We can actually sort of almost tell when we've learned something new, when we've been forced to think in a different way. We have that firsthand experience with doing that, you and I, face to face. But when we try and translate this knowledge online, we end up with something that looks a little bit like this. You alone trying to sort of take notes and do it on your own. We really have nothing to base our sense of online learning on, or what it can be. So we try and translate the things that we do know and put them online. We try and take what we know and sort of apply that. We end up building things that are functional. They work, but they're not all that useful because online and face-to-face tend to be different. We end up building filing cabinets. We do these things, and maybe not even great filing cabinets. We build places to store individual items or stow away folders, sort of pack ratting them away. We don't allow objects to have any context or have conversation about them because they're stored in that file. There's not a whole lot else that changes about them. We may take them out from time to time and look at them or give them to somebody else, but that's one file, and then it goes back into the filing cabinet. And in the end, knowing what we have doesn't always lead us to what we need. So we may have all of these keys, but we're not really sure which one is the right one to use. So we have to stop making new filing cabinets or better filing cabinets or anything like that. We have to make recipe boxes. And the reason why we need to make recipe boxes is that recipes are personal. They're contextual. My recipe is different than your recipe. I can scrawl notes on my recipe. I can do all kinds of different things that is really personal and contextual to the way that I want to create that meal, the way that I want to, and the way that I learned how to create that meal as well. We always have spots that we can easily come back to. I'm on this step, step number 1 of 12. I'm on this step, step number 4 of 12. And we're always constantly checking, did I get that measurement right? Did I put this to the right sort of level of boiling and things like that? We always have ways to reach over and share what we've done. We can actually share that recipe card with somebody else, or I can copy it down for you, and then that is your recipe. You can change it how you would like to, have different steps, have different ingredients. You can be improvisational, but there is always that sense that it is a singular recipe to get to that end. You know, we're both making angel food cake. We may make it differently, but we're going to end up with that angel food cake that tastes delicious. And we can also plan, right? We can plan what is coming next. You know, when are we going to make this particular meal? When is it appropriate to do that, to create an appetizer, to create a dessert, and things like that. So how are we going to build this recipe box? Well, the most logical way to do that is to actually start to think like a chef. We should all start to think like chefs. Our files and our assets and learning links are the raw ingredients. They're what we're going to use in order to make that meal. Our facilitated services and those other learning links pages are the steps in our recipe. 1, 2, 3. Our packages our packages of content are the recipes themselves, right? When we've packaged something up and we're telling somebody this is what you need to do in order to have this level of success, that's the recipe for success. That's the way that we're going to get people to where they need to be in professional management, in having a professionally managed company. And that's how we're going to package things for them. Each one is going to have, a time associated with it. How long is this going to take me? Is it going to take me 2 hours of time? Is this plan, this entire recipe, going to be 6 months worth of time? Those kinds of things are things that we can start to think about when we think about the package as a recipe for success. The clients are going to show their progress by making our recipes. And we are the only ones that have these recipes, right? No one else has this recipe for professional management. And that's why they're going to use our system versus any other system that exists. So all we have to do is provide them with the box, right? We're going to create this recipe box, and that is going to be the thing that's going to guide us through in order to make sure that they are feeling the same level of success, and that Aileron, the counterparts, are able to usher in that level of success by sharing those recipes, those recommended sort of best practice recipes. And they're going to be able to do that easily by creating learning links that is a recipe box.